Ken Rosenthal story that covered Corbin Burnes' departure from the Baltimore Orioles. So we finally got some numbers on what the offer was for him. And people are like, why are you talking about that now? Because we just got the information. If we brought this up in the offseason, this would be the biggest story for a few days. So he basically said the Red Sox made a short-term offer and the Orioles made a short-term offer. The Orioles one we got the details on. 4 years, $180 million. $45 million a year would have set a record for a pitcher, not counting the unicorn Shohei Ohtani. It would have been the highest average annual value. But it was not the most guaranteed money offered. And I would say 90% of the time, if not more, the most guaranteed money in free agency is what is going to command the pitcher especially. This was cute, but it was never going to win him over.
What was the Red Sox offer?
We didn't get that, but we know it was short term.
It was Orioles were 4-180.
Yeah, so the Red Sox, it was 3 or 4 years. He signed for 6 years, 210. Now, there were deferrals in the deal that he signed, so it wasn't as far apart as it looks on paper, okay?
Yes, but two things about this. Where does he live?
Arizona. But
it was over. They offered more years, more money. It was over.
It was
over. I don't care. The Orioles made a nice little run, but if you have a guy
6,250,
they would have to overpay him.
They
would have had to beat it by a big mark.
Well, we always knew that.
I agree, but we never thought the Orioles would get to 4,180, did we?
I guess not. But the Orioles acted like they did everything they could. Did they do everything they could when you make a 4-year offer to the best pitcher on the market who's looking for more years and obviously the biggest guarantee? Like, they didn't beat the offer. So for them to say like, oh yeah, we did what we were supposed to do. He wanted to go to Arizona.
Well, he did.
But if he did want to go there, but everybody has
Arizona,
a price.
If you remember when you talked to him, he said Arizona wasn't even in until the end.
Yes.
And they were like, wait, we can actually get Corbin Burnes for this? We'll take it.
That's what I'm saying is, so if you're Baltimore and you threw a 6,220 at him before that even popped up,
he probably would have taken it.
He would have taken it.
But listen, for him to get to go home where he lives with his family and pitch in a place where he doesn't have to move for spring training and he's there year round, he knows he's going to be there, they would have had to blow it out of the water once he got that offer, and they weren't going to do that. Listen, the 4,180 is nice, it's cool and all, but Corbin was looking for at least 5. He got 6. Now he can end his career at home and be happy. So good for you, Corbin. But you know what? Good for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, of course. But the story here
is that the Orioles said they tried and they didn't get to the number that was good enough.
Yeah. And so people are like, that's cool that you offered him a lot of short-term money. That stuff's happened a lot over the years. Remember the Dodgers made that big offer to Bryce Harper, but it was for a low year total? How often does that really happen? Unless it's got the big opt-out in it, like Bregman, which really you can just look at it as a 1-year deal, unless it's got an opt-out right away. And the Orioles one didn't have an opt-out. Oh, the Diamondbacks one has an opt-out after 2 years.
I don't see him opting out.
I agree.
Maybe
but I'm
he
just
will.
saying.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that he is. I don't know that he will. Maybe. But I can't imagine him being in the place. The only way I could see him opting out is doing something where he could get more money from the Diamondbacks because he wants to stay there. But he has he has young kids. He's happy there. His kids are going to be getting into school age at that time. I just don't see him. I mean, maybe, but if he goes out and has 2 great years, maybe, but still, I think it'd be one of those, like, I'm going to opt out, wink, wink, give me a little bit more for the same amount of time and we'll call it even.
Yeah, tell Marte, just kind of help them spread out money.
Yeah.
Orioles have a 5.37 starting pitching ERA.
The Orioles, I know Kratz put them 3 on their power rankings. Not as bad as me putting the Nats 1 on mine because they just beat the Dodgers in a series. But they're starting pitching with Eflin down, Grayson down. Their starting pitching's in trouble. Kramer got whacked yesterday.
FT fam, you got to check out what Harry's brings to the table. And I hope that if you're listening to this, you check out the video version of this conversation at some point, because that razor, Eric Kratz, looks like it stands out for multiple reasons.
I mean, I'll take the cover off. All these blades, each one of them ridiculously sharp, make for a nice smoothness here and up there.
German engineered blades made in their own factory. They stay sharp longer. Okay, you've got customizable delivery options. Harry stands out for the sharpness, for the pricing, for the variety. And you can get a 5-blade razor, a weighted handle, foaming shave gel, and a travel cover for just $3 at harrys.com/Val. Get the edge on your shave with Harry's. Normally their trial set's $13 right now. You can get it for just $3 at harrys.com/Val. That's our exclusive FT link,
harrys.com/foul for a $3 trial set.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.